Now we've collected all the sap from the trees and we've put it in a big container. What you need to do is strain out the debris. I have a 5-gallon bucket with cheesecloth on top of it, and we have tied a string around it. I take a pan and dump it in, and this will strain all the debris out of it. And then once it's strained, I put the strained stuff over here on the fire, and this is where we're going to boil it down. You got to get your fire nice and hot so that the sap can boil down. Roaster inside part, and then I took an oven grate, and this thing is right on top of the coals, and we're boiling about a gallon per 20 minutes. We keep adding wood and sap. As you can see, there's foamy stuff on top of the sap that's boiling here, and once in a while we're getting and get all the chunks out. Now this is stuff that I've boiled down quite a bit. It's harder to strain this when it's actually syrup, but this is close to being syrup. So what I did is I took cheesecloth and folded a bunch of times, and I'm going to strain it through this bucket. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the bucket, we're going to strain this through. It's going to strain pretty slow because it's pretty thick. So it's a long process, but once we get that all strained, we're going to move it back here and start a whole nother batch. This is why it's important to strain, because this has already been strained 2 times. Once when the sap, before we boil the sap, I strain it, but you can see there's still a lot of debris. That's why it's so important to keep straining your sap before it's syrup. So you can see how dirty, you can see the dirt. You can see what dirt you have to remove yet. See how this foam is getting real thick? It's because it's at the right temperature. We are getting so close to pure maple syrup. I don't know if you've ever cooked toffee, but this is what it reminds me of, how it boils over at that certain point. This is, I don't know if you can see, but it's rising rapidly, the foam. So I'm going to test this again because I'm quite certain we are there. This foam has reached like 3 inches from the top. Okay, so we're gonna test it again. This was like just a matter of minutes from the last time I tested. We're gonna overflow.
Mommy.
What? Okay, you see the red line? We're gonna pull this off, see how much the foam. We are done. Right here we have is a batch of pure maple syrup. See how we're right at that red line? That's where we are legally at pure maple syrup. Perfectly, right on the dot.